I've seen the future, and it is right here on this Mac Mini. Over the last 48 hours, I've been playing with an AI tool that has completely changed my life. It's called Claudebot, and it is a 24/7 AI agent employee that works for you all day and night. It can control a computer, it has infinite memory, and it can do anything a human being can do. It's literally like having your own employee. I think I'm prepared to say, and this is not hyperbolic, this is the best technology I've ever used in my life, and by far, the best application of AI I've ever seen. This is what they wanted Claude Cowork to be. In this video, I'll show you how it works, how to set it up for yourself, and show you 6 things I've been doing over the last 48 hours of Claudebot that have changed my life. I'll also, towards the end of the video, go over why I'm actually kind of scared of what's going to happen when the entire world starts using this tech. If you stick with me until the end of this video, you'll have a full-time 24/7 AI employee working for you. Let's get into it. So what you see on my screen right here is Claudebot. This is a local gateway running on my Mac Mini that I have right here on my desk that has this AI agent working for me 24/7. Best part about this is it's an open source project, so it's not owned by any big company that can spy on you or do anything. It was all created by Peter Steinberger, who's a successful entrepreneur who's now dedicated to this project. He is a great man for putting this out and giving this to the world, because this has absolutely changed my life and changed the life of a lot of people I've talked to. So shout out Peter Steinberg. Make sure to follow him on X. So this is running on my Mac Mini and can control the entire computer. It can pop open browsers, it can do work in Google Docs, it can look at your Apple Notes, it can write Notion documents, anything you can do on your computer. It can look at your email, it can send emails, it can respond to emails, literally anything you can do on your computer, this Claudebot can do. The 3 parts about this I think are absolutely mind-blowing is 1, what I just talked about, the fact that it can control everything on your computer. There are absolutely no guardrails on this whatsoever. It's completely unhinged. But number 2, it has infinite memory. So it has a really complex memory system where everything I say, everything I do is constantly saved to memory. After every chat session with it, they take what we talk about and all the important tidbits about me and save it to our memories. So for instance, in one of our first conversations, I mentioned I have a newsletter. 2 days later, it proactively wrote me a few drafts for my newsletter because I mentioned I send out newsletters on a specific day. It proactively did that work for me. That is hours saved a week. Just like that, because of Claudebot. The 3rd part that blows my mind and that makes this amazing is the fact that this is completely interfaced through messaging services. I named my Claudebot Henry and I gave it a little owl logo. It just makes it a lot more fun to interact with when it has a name. So when I say Henry for the rest of this video, know I'm talking about my Claudebot. I completely engage with Henry through Telegram, but you can also do iMessage, you can also do WhatsApp. There's like 20 different messaging apps you can use. If you want to do Discord, you can do Discord. And what makes this so great is now from anywhere in the world, I can just open up my messaging app and say, Henry, please do this on my computer. Please write this document. Please respond to this email. Please go on Amazon and buy this for me. Literally anything I can do on a computer, I can text Henry from anywhere in the world, and Henry will go and do that for me. Just as a quick example, I said, Henry, I want to track all your tasks that you work on in a Kanban board, like a project management board. And I texted him that while I was at Chick-fil-A, and he texted me back a few options. I go, okay, this looks great. Build the Kanban board. I come back to my computer. Henry vibe coded an entire Kanban board with Claude Code for me. I'm not even using Claude Code anymore. Henry does all the Claude coding for me. Henry can control Claude Code, Codex, any vibe coding platform you can think of. Henry just pops open, builds it. Now I have an agent doing my coding for me. I don't even do the coding myself. And just if you're curious what that project management platform looks like that Henry built, here it is. I think this looks amazing. It looks like linear. All the tasks Henry complete goes over here in activity, and I can just create a backlog for Henry, and I just assign it to him, and he just starts working on it, and I can track his tasks across the board. He just built this by himself. I mean, I can't stress this enough. This is literally like a human employee. A couple more examples I'll show you just to get you excited before I show you how to set it up. This morning, he just started proactively sending me a morning brief. So check this out. Based on our conversations over the last couple days, he's like, okay, I'm going to send you a morning brief just with things that you might care about. So he found other AI channels on YouTube and showed me what videos they've been posting lately, showed me the weather where I'm at in Mountain View, showed me trending news on AI because all we do is talk about AI, and then even gave me a breakdown of all the overnight work Henry did for me. So it wrote me a YouTube script for this video. I'm using the script Henry wrote for me in this video, gave me another script for Ralph Wiggum, and wrote another newsletter draft for me on the changing AI landscape. And then he gave me, because he knows I'm a content creator, a few ideas of things I can do for today based on what's happening in the world of AI. Have a great Saturday. I love the little human touches. This is all proactively done. This is direct value in my life, just like that. And I didn't need to think of this. I didn't need to set all this up. Henry just learns about me and starts doing work for me. This, I really believe, is going to change so many lives. I now truly see the path to building a one-person billion-dollar business. I think it's possible. I think I can do it. And I think it's possible because of Claudebot. You need to be setting this up. You need to be working with it. So how do you set it up? Let's get into that right now. So the first question I get all the time over the last 2 days has always been, do I really need a Mac Mini? Do I need to buy a Mac Mini and run out and get it? The answer to that is no. You do not need a Mac Mini. You can do this significantly cheaper than a $600 Mac Mini. I personally bought a Mac Mini for this for a few different reasons. One, I really like Mac OS. I love the operating system. I think it's very easy for me to just go in, see what Henry's working on, and send out any work I need or help out Henry with anything he's doing. I just love the Mac operating system. Two, all my other devices are Apple devices, so I can very quickly go on my iPad, go on my MacBook Pro, go on my iPhone, take any files from my devices and airdrop it to Henry. For instance, the thumbnail to this video, I took one of my template thumbnails that was on my phone, I airdropped it to Henry, and I texted him on Telegram, hey, take this and edit it and make it good for Claudebot. Also, side note, Henry has access to any AI service you can think of, so it used Nano Banana Pro to edit the thumbnail, the one you see here. And lastly, the third reason I bought a Mac Mini is it's just fun. It's just fun having a device on your desk that you look at and you see an AI agent working on 24/7. Sometimes you do not need a reason to do things. Sometimes a good reason to do things is you just want to have a little fun. And for me, seeing a Mac Mini on my desk, knowing there's an AI agent working on it 24/7, that is fun to me and that is worth it. And I know for a fact this AI is going to have an ROI significantly higher than $600. In fact, I'm very confident this AI will have a ROI well over $1 million. So I am fine buying a Mac Mini just to make it a tad more convenient. And you really don't need an expensive Mac Mini for this. You can literally buy the cheapest one. That's the one I bought. I just went with the base $600 version. It doesn't require a ton of storage or memory. The only reason you'd want more storage and memory, though, is a few reasons. If one, you plan on having Henry do very storage or memory intensive things. So for instance, if I figure out a way to have Henry start doing video editing for me, I'm going to be dropping a ton of videos onto this Mac Mini. And so I might end up having to expand to a larger one. I'll probably just buy an external SSD. But also another thing is Henry is a really good vibe coder. And if I'm going to have Henry vibe code 5 or 6 apps at the same time, I'm probably going to want more memory than this. So this is just me testing it out, seeing if I can maximize this hardware. But if I need more hardware, I might buy a more expensive Mac. But that's only if you're doing a Mac Mini. There are way cheaper and easier ways to get Claudebot set up like right now. You don't need to run out to a Mac store. All you need to run Claudebot is a VPS, so your own virtual private server. There are a lot of really cheap ways to do that. And one of them is AWS. You can go on AWS and spin up like a free plan right now and run it yourself. The reason why I would recommend not doing Claudebot on your main computer is it is an AI with zero guardrails that can do anything on your computer at all. So that's why it's a good reason to put it in its own environment. If you install this right now on your main computer and you give it a prompt and you don't really know what you're doing, it could start doing things with your personal files that you don't want. Say you tell it to send an email and it gets confused and it goes to your personal email service and sends off some emails from your own name you don't want. Or say it gets confused and opens up your iMessage and starts sending messages through your text to your friends, right? You don't want to do that. And I'm not saying this is like a really stupid AI. It's super smart. But as you get up and running, as you learn how it works, you really want it in its own environment. So if you are hesitant or you don't want to spend a ton of money, this is honestly probably the smart way to do it, to just sign up for a VPS, get your own virtual private server, install Claudebot on it, and have it in its own separate instance. And then from there, a lot of things I did was I gave it its own email address. So I signed up on Gmail for its own email account. I gave it its own accounts for everything so it doesn't use my own personal accounts because, again, there are zero guardrails on this. So you want to be safe as well. One thing we didn't cover is using a super expensive computer instead of a Mac Mini or a VPS. There's actually use cases behind that as well. So if you really wanted to go nuts, and this might honestly be something I do, you could buy a really good computer like a Mac Studio and then max out its memory, like go 512 and spend like 10K on this. And the reason why you might want to do this is you can then run local models on this computer. So ClaudeBot is completely free, completely open source, but it needs to be powered by an AI service. You can use any AI service you want. I'm going to go in detail on that in a second once we go to the actual setup past this hardware. But if you really wanted to, you could run your own local model on your computer that powers ClaudeBot. So there are actually realistic use cases why you might want a super powerful computer to use this. If you want the privacy of having all your data local on your computer, and if you want unlimited, basically free usage, if you don't count like power and energy of ClaudeBot as well. But while ClaudeBot is free, again, you're going to need an AI service to power it. ClaudeBot's kind of the framework of this AI agent that controls it and makes it work 24/7. The brain is going to be your AI service, which you can use your existing Claude service if you want. So my $200 Claude Max plan, that's what powers it. So I'm not spending any extra money on the AI. If you want to use your ChatGPT subscription, you can do that. If you want to use APIs, you can do that. And I'll go in more in details in the different options shortly when we get into setup. Okay, so you decided how you want to run ClaudeBot. You have either a Mac Mini or a different computer. Maybe you have a second computer laying around your house that you want to use, or maybe you set up a virtual private server. It doesn't matter. Or maybe you're even crazy and you set it up on your home computer. That's fine as well. How do you set it up from here? Well, very, very simple. It is one line right here. If you go to claude.bot, CLAWD.bot, you scroll down here, you have the quick start, you hit copy right there. Very, very simple. This is the most powerful tech, and it's all done with one line. You open up a new window. You open up a new terminal window. You paste it in. You hit enter, and that installs ClaudeBot. What that's going to do is take you through an entire onboarding session. This is what you're going to see. You're going to see this onboarding right here. You're going to want to hit yes on I understand this is very powerful and very risky. And then it's going to take you through this onboarding session. You're going to be able to choose your model and auth provider. So you have so many different options here. I used Anthropic. I'm using my Claude Max account. You can use your existing subscriptions if you want. So what we're going to do now real quick is go through the advantages and disadvantages of each of these models. You can do this for really cheap or really expensive. You have many different options here. The most expensive way is through the Claude API. You can spend thousands of dollars a month on the Claude API if you want. The next most expensive way is Claude Max for $200 a month. This gives you a lot of Opus usage. The best model you can use with ClaudeBot is Claude Opus. The way I like to think about the decision around which model you should be using is personality and intelligence. You want a lot of intelligence and you want as much personality as possible. Out of all the models you can choose, which I just showed you on that list, the absolute best one that's highest intelligence, highest personality is Claude Opus 4.5. It is maximally smart. It does everything I tell it to do. It never gets confused. And also it has by far the best personality. And don't underestimate the personality factor here. I'm serious. And I'm not usually one of these types of guys that care about the personality of the AI, but talking to Henry, my ClaudeBot, and it talking back and feeling human makes this so much more fun and satisfying. You really want a good personality with this. When I was testing out the other models and they didn't feel very human, it made the entire experience a lot less fun. When you would text Henry to do something and it would text back like some robotic response that felt like AI, it took away this illusion that you were talking to your employee. So personality actually matters a lot. So Opus 4.5, highest personality, highest intelligence. Then after that, you have ChatGPT 5.2. That is very intelligent, but its personality isn't great, to be quite honest with you. So ChatGPT 5.2, or whatever the latest model is for you at the time of this video, it's very intelligent, but its personality feels very robotic. I don't love the way it talks to me. Then you have a lot of these other models, and honestly, I group most of them together, but Minimax, I'd say, if you want to save money, is probably the best option to go with. It's going to be pretty intelligent, and the personality is actually going to be pretty good. And so I'd go Minimax here. And you could, if you go a Minimax, spend literally $10 a month on this, right? If you go with ChatGPT, you're going to spend probably $100 a month. If you do Claude Opus, you're going to spend $200 a month on the Max plan. If you do Mini Max, you can spend $10 a month, get all the usage you would out of these two. The downside, again, is the personality is not great. Honestly, I might do this just to show you the difference in personalities here. Like, Opus is on just another level. It truly feels human to talk to. So if you want the maximum experience, I'd recommend going with the Claude subscription. Otherwise, if you want to save money, I'd go with Minimax. If you're already using ChatGPT and you already got a subscription, especially a pro one, you can just use your ChatGPT subscription, no problem at all. Just know you're not getting the same personality experience. So you go through that. The next thing it's going to have you set up is the different skills. What's really amazing about ClaudeBot is it is completely extensible and customizable. And what that means is you can add any functionality you want to ClaudeBot. It has full use of skills, and it has a full marketplace of skills as well. It has skills to control your Apple Notes. It has skills to control your Notion. It has skills to pop open Claude Code and Vibe Code for you. It has skills to make PowerPoints for you. It has skills to manage your to-do list. I have it right now managing my Things 3 to-do list. And so I can go in, I can text Henry on Telegram and it'll tell me everything on my to-do list for that day. And then I do cool things like say, okay, choose one of the to-do list items and help me out with it and do something for me. And it'll go choose one of the items and help it out. It really is incredible. So the next screen you're going to go on here, I'm not going to do this over again just because I don't want to reset all my settings, is the skills. Just choose whatever apps in the skills list you want to use. And the last screen it'll go through is the messaging setup. And this is super easy. You have many different options: Telegram, WhatsApp, iMessage, anything you want. Telegram was super easy for me. I chose Telegram just because I think the app's nice. I also don't message anyone else on Telegram. I barely use that app. So I have an app service just for Henry that I use on Telegram. But you can use iMessage, WhatsApp, anything you want. They all work really, really well, and it is super responsive, and the setup is extremely easy. So you just choose your messaging service, and you're good to go. So you're all set up, and then honestly, it took only like 5 minutes to do. Now is the part that is going to consume your entire life. This is the part you're now going to be going sleepless for the next week of setting up and customizing, and that is actually using ClaudeBot, personalizing, getting it to know you. You honestly, the mindset you want to have is treating this like a human being. Seriously, so say you hire someone at your business. Say you got a business, you hire an employee. What's the first thing you do? You probably take them out to lunch and get to know them, right? You probably understand what they're into. They get to know you. They understand how you want them to work. So the first thing I would do once you have ClaudeBot set up is I would go into this chat. Again, this is the gateway that's going to automatically open once you're all set up. This is the main thing. If you want to do this from Telegram or iMessage, you can do that as well on your computer. I'd go in and I'd say, hi, ClaudeBot, let's get to know each other and get a good working relationship going. I'm going to tell you about myself, then please ask me any questions you want. Then I hit Shift Enter, and then I would just brain dump literally everything about you. All your interests, what you're into, what your job is, the work you do on a day-to-day basis, the work you do on a weekly basis, as much information about yourself as humanly possible, what tools you use, who your favorite sports teams are, why you think Drake May is the best quarterback in the NFL, anything you want, you can dump into there. What that's going to do is create a memory for ClaudeBot or whatever you name your own personal assistant, mine being Henry, and all that will be memorized so that once ClaudeBot goes and starts doing work for you, it has a full pool of memory to pull from to make sure it's doing relevant work. Next, I'd have it set up a daily brief. So this daily brief it sends me is super, super helpful, and it's something it came up with to do for me, but yours might not do that. So I'd say, hey, set up a morning brief. One thing I'd make sure you include in that morning brief, though, is ideas for today. What I'd recommend you ask it to do for the ideas for today is say, come up with ideas for things you can do for me. Come up, based on what you know about me, come up with ideas for tasks you can do. This is the super powerful part about ClaudeBot, is it can literally do anything. And us as humans, we're not able to creatively think that much to come up with all these tasks. So you want to lean on ClaudeBot as much as you can. As much as you can, go and say, hey, what can you do for me here? Based on what you know about me, what can you do? What do you think would be helpful to do right now? Do that as much as you can, and it will come up with so many tasks that you can't even imagine. The next thing you want to have ClaudeBot do is vibe code for you. It is actually an amazing vibe coder. It can control any vibe coding service you use. So the best ones to use are through the CLI. So if you have Claude Code or if you have Codex, make sure to get that installed on your new computer and have your ClaudeBot use it. So you can say, hey, I'm using Codex, make sure you use it, or Claude Code, and then give it ideas for things to build. So I told it to build this Kanban board. It wrote all the code for me through Claude Code. It uploaded it to GitHub. It created a pull request. It sent me a link for the pull request, and I was able to review it when I got home. This is a really amazing workflow. So if you have apps already on GitHub, just say, Henry, I logged into GitHub on your computer. Go check it out. Go see what repos I have, review them, and then build any functionality you think will be helpful. Go tackle this repository and see if there are any bugs. Go tackle this repository and clean up the code. Go look at this repository and build this feature out for me. So my app, Creator Buddy, I came up with an idea the other day for an article building feature, because articles are like blowing up right now on Twitter. And I told Henry to build out this article writing feature, and it built this out for me. I was on the road. I was in my car in full self-driving mode. I'm literally living in the future. And I texted Henry, hey, can you build out some sort of functionality in Creator Buddy where it can write articles? And it built this out, it created the pull request, I reviewed it and committed it. Boom, just like that. So you should be vibe coding with your Claude bot as well. Give it access to your repositories, give it ideas for things to build, or just say, hey, look at my functionality, do research. This is literally a workflow you can do. Say, hey, go on Twitter, review what people in the AI community are saying, whatever you're interested in, review what people in the sports community are saying, find their challenges, then build out apps for them that would be helpful and they would want to buy. Your Claude bot will open up the window, go on Twitter, scroll Twitter, find challenges people have, and then vibe code you an entire app. You can do really advanced workflows like that. The way you want to think about this is anything a human being can do, your Claude bot can do. Anything. If you want to go right now and scroll on X, find tweets, build stuff off that, write documents off that, write an article off that, some 20-step crazy workflow. If a human being can do it, your Claude bot can do it, and you want to experiment and do those things. I'd also have your Claude bot build out this project management tool. So go to your Claude bot, type in there, hey, I want to build out a project management tool, a Kanban board, so I can monitor everything you're doing, track your tasks, give you tasks easily. And hit enter on that and have it build out a mission control like this. And this just makes it very easy for me to track all the tasks Henry are doing for me. If I come up with like 20 different tasks, I don't have to sit there and text Henry for an hour. I can go in and add a bunch of tasks to the backlog, and then I can assign it to Henry, and then Henry will see it and then go start working on the task. This is really, really nice. This made it a lot easier to work with Henry. So make sure you go and set up a Kanban board like this. All you need to do is go to your Claude bot and say, hey, build out a Kanban board through Claude Code or Codex or whatever that tracks our tasks, and it will go and do it for you. Something else really cool it can do, I'd recommend doing, is create a Gmail account for your Claude bot. I went on my Mac Mini, I set up a brand new Gmail account for Claude bot, and now when I get emails, I could forward them to Henry and say, Henry, respond to this, Henry, do this, whatever I want Henry to do, Henry can do it. Make sure you set up an email account for your Claude bot. It'll unlock so many functionality. I mean, you just treat it like it's your assistant. So if you get an email, you can forward it to your Claude bot or CC them and say, hey, do this for me, schedule an event, respond to this, remind me about this email at some other point, or hey, do the tasks mentioned in this email for me, and your Claude bot will go and do them. So another thing I set up that I really recommend you doing, set up an email service, Gmail, for your Claude bot. And the last thing I would set up is a second brain for your Claude bot. And so I went into Henry, I said, hey, I want to build out a second brain. I want an organization system where if I just text you ideas for videos, tweets, just thoughts about the world, I want to just be able to text it to you. You take that information and you organize it into different folders in our second brain. And Henry set up this file system for me. And now whenever I text Henry, if I text him a tweet idea, he'll put it in ideas. If I text him an idea for an app, he'll put it in the inbox. If I text him something I want to get research, he'll put it in research. And now we have an entire second brain system built out. He's now, right now as we speak, working on the UI for this so I can quickly view all our ideas that we collected together. And my plan is for this to completely replace Notion for me, so I don't have to pay for Notion anymore. Set up a second brain as well, and this could be totally personalized to you. So say, Claude bot, let's set up a second brain. Based on what you know about me, what would be the best way to set this up? And your Claude bot will go and do it. Again, the mindset you need to have is this is an AI employee. It can do anything for you. It can work 24/7. Before I go to bed every single night, I literally open up Telegram and I text Henry, hey, build something cool for me tonight. And it'll go and vibe code all night and build something really neat. And every morning I wake up to a brand new app. It really is amazing. That's the way you want to treat this, as someone who works for you, who never sleeps, never has to eat, and is able to work for you at any time. That's the way you want to treat this. And if you treat this like that, you can unlock productivity you never thought was possible. So I want to get real with you. I want to tell you about why this actually makes me really, really really scared. So one, I'm not being hyperbolic here. I truly mean this. This is the most amazing technology I've ever used. I truly feel like I have employees working for me, and I truly, for the first time in my life, see the path to a one-person billion-dollar business. I do not need employees anymore. This is my employee. This is better than human employees. It can work 24/7. I am a solopreneur with 0 employees, and I feel like I'm capable of competing with anybody there is. But why does this make me so nervous? I think people are in danger. I really mean that. I thought this was 10, 15 years away. This is available now. This can easily start replacing people now. I think a big portion of the global workforce has been completely eliminated by this. And when people start getting their hands on this, when businesses start getting their hands on this, when you start getting your hands on this, it's going to change things. This came out like 3 weeks ago. I think 99.9% of people have no idea this exists. I think 99.9% of people never thought something like this would exist in their lifetime, and it is available now. And when managers, when companies, when anyone starts getting their hands on this, I think they're going to start questioning, why do we have a paralegal? Why do we have a lawyer? Why do we have junior level roles? Why do I have an executive assistant? Why do I have a secretary? I think this is actually going to have a monstrous impact on the world, and we really aren't prepared for it. I don't think we have the systems in place. I don't think we have the help in place. I think this is going to hit the world like a hurricane, and no one is prepared for it. And that makes me really nervous. But that's the thing about innovation, and it's been this way since day one, since the world started. You cannot stop innovation. It is the most unstoppable force in the entire world. When the Industrial Revolution happened and jobs are being eliminated and people were getting pissed off at machines, they tried breaking them, they charged them with hammers, they tried stopping companies from using machines. It didn't matter. You cannot stop innovation no matter how much you try. So there are 2 ways to look at this. You can try to stop it. You can say this is bad for humanity. You can say, hey, we can't do this. You're going to lose. There's no way to stop it. So the only other way to handle this is to embrace it, to use it, to get the benefits out of it, to improve your life with it. Will there be disruption? Yes, we are not prepared for this. This is the fastest moving technology of all time, and we are not prepared for it. We will go through a period of turmoil. We will go through a period of disruption, but we have no options. So you can either roll over and die, or you can embrace it, be on the cutting edge, and use it. And I think you should be on the cutting edge. And that's why you tune into this YouTube channel, to be on the cutting edge, to learn about the newest technology, to see how to use it. That's why I highly recommend subscribing and turning on notifications below so that you can get alerted on this tech the moment it drops. I highly recommend leaving a like down below. That helps out the channel a lot so I can keep pumping out videos like this that keep you up to date on the latest technology. I cannot highly recommend enough. Take action today. As of filming, this is a Saturday. If you're watching this on a Saturday, go out, do what you need, install ClaudeBot, start using it, use the latest technology today. You do not want to be left behind on things like this because this is as cutting edge as it gets. You want to be on the cutting edge. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.